Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'll probably cut the YouTube video in here, and we are going to go ahead and get started with Secrets of Alderland Session 4, where we last left off with our heroes. What were you guys doing? Did any of you guys want to do the recap? You want me to do it real quick? Doesn't matter. Oh yes, I'll do it. All right. So we had started off with you guys at the little inn there at the side of the road, little tavern in a tiny little like community, not even a village. It was just a community, a farming community up sort of into the mountains, into the hills a little more. You guys set off on the road that day and began going. You at one point came across this dude. I'm not going to go into details because it wasn't really that important of an event, but you came across this dude, this carter, who had basically had an accident with his cart, and it had run him over and crushed his leg, broken his leg, and he was sitting there on the side of the road. You guys saved him, actually helped him. I mean, he probably wasn't going to die. It's probably like someone would have probably found him eventually, but you healed his leg for him, and he was very impressed with that. Not having seen magic that often. So that happened. Then you guys continued onwards. Eventually you heard a scream from off the road, and pursuing down the sounds of the scream, you found out that in this cave, in this little cave, this little tunnel system that led to this cave, a hobgoblin had actually taken this woman captive, and he essentially, what was the line that he had actually said when you guys confronted him? You had found him sort of sneaked around the corner. I think it was something that kind of gave you guys a clue that maybe he is after you guys or something. You don't really know yet still, but I think it was something.
When we started fighting, one of them, and the second one who showed up later, said that they were only after the magic users.
Yes, that was it. Okay, yeah, they were like, we only want the magic users. And yeah, the first dude didn't say it. I think he just said don't attack, or I want to talk or something like that.
I don't think he wanted to talk.
he slit the lady's throat, and luckily you guys saved her before she completely died while she was bleeding out. You stabilized her and saved her and whatever. And the group brought her back to her. So you were attacked by not only that one hobgoblin, but another hobgoblin, 4 goblins, and a doggo thing. This dog creature that breathed fire. So the group at that point led this lady to her home, where they found out that her dad was actually someone who had served alongside Riker, the man that had taken in Ulf and cared for Ulf. What?
You just said Riker, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm a part of the story.
Yeah. So this was his name was Mortimus, I believe. Yeah, and he basically gave Ulf a sword, a magical sword, and gave him a little information about his armor as well. So that was that, and you guys then left and made the rest of the way back, or started going back to Snowfeld. On the way, while Kass was flying up in the sky, he saw his monk sort of mentor that sort of trails him. The monk came up to him and told him he had completed his second rite of passage or trial. And
later, boys.
And told him that he had his next one is to stand strong in the face of great danger, essentially.
Oh yeah. Might unintentionally be out.
And so with that being said, we will pick up right with you guys sort of making the rest of the way back. I don't know, do you guys want to talk to each other about anything while you're walking the 1 or 2 hours? It is evening right now, or early evening, so the sun is going down, but you're going to make it back before dark, or right at sunset, probably.
I imagine Anna is just small talking with the kobold to the extent that he'll actually reply and trying to convince him to help us out rather than being in prison forever or probably killed at some point.
Yeah. So what sort of things do you say to him? Just like
repeating what I was talking about earlier, like how I could probably teach him some things about magic and fighting, and he could potentially lead the other kobolds if he helps us out.
That's right. We're talking about this.
Okay, yeah. I have to sort of get back.
He has
into
no
character.
particular love for his father, who is some kind of dragon kin of some
Right.
sort.
We talked about that too. I forgot it.
Yeah. You found out. I forgot about that too. Yeah, you found out that he is
A blue drake,
yes,
like creature.
Yeah, his it's not even really his father, but like his spawner. You know, he's the spawn of this blue.
We
drake.
RPG now. Boys.
Yeah. He basically called him father because that's essentially to him like sort of what he is, but he's not really. I don't know. It's weird.
Well,
it's
if
complicated.
the creature's a male and it created him, that's the best word for it.
So the but yeah, so like the and he was saying how he kind of even like he kind of even like hates his lord / father in a lot of ways.
Fear and respect, but no love is what I got out of it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair description of how he described it, at least. And so yeah, so you sort of keep talking to him about this as you go. And
yeah, occasionally throwing in a. Well, I'm trying to think if I could actually legitimately compliment anything. I guess I'd probably just generically compliment what kobolds are usually good at, since they're all kobolds have the master race mindset.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You're a good
Very many
follower.
things kobolds are good at.
You're very red.
Yeah, very red.
Actually, he's a rusty boy.
He's like
You can
Yeah,
blend
but you're
into the
trying to
environment
compliment him.
rather well.
yeah. So also
What golden eyes you have? I think they're golden. Right.
Yeah.
so he's so he'll sort of grumble along. He doesn't really say anything. At one point, like when there's a lull in the conversation or whatever, he'll sort of say, I gotta think about he'd say this. I gotta get back into his voice too. It's different every time though, so
Well, you were Meatwad before.
Yeah, you were. You just do me one again.
You've been a few different things.
So he's like, at one point he'd be like, there we go. back there in the house.
Excuse me. Translation, please. I couldn't understand that.
Back there in the house, I let that man stab me, get my blood,
Yes.
and the sword glowed.
Yeah, apparently the sword glows when it draws the blood of somebody that's evil.
What?
Hey, that's a compliment.
That. And so then he just sort of like thinks about it. You can tell he was like, he's interested in that though.
Yeah. Would he understand, like, what other races consider evil?
I mean, I don't know. He hasn't said anything about it.
Yeah, I guess if he seemed questioning about that, Anna would go on and like start telling stories about some of the most well-known evil beings in this world's lore.
Okay, so you
and ask
so,
him like, are you like these people?
And so as he told him, he's like, wait, those are they looked up to?
People respect their power oftentimes, but they're also hated by everyone. No, they can't trust anyone because the second they turn their back, their underlings would try and kill them.
That sounds like my dad.
Yes, from what you've said of him, his blood would probably make the sword glow even brighter.
Yes, well, with the thing you said with the underlings, I have other siblings, stronger, almost as strong as me, stronger than others of my type, and he at times has killed them for being stronger, not stronger than him, but stronger than my kind. Normally
So
are.
he doesn't like anyone that could be perceived as a leader other than him.
And, and so he like says he sort of trails off with his voice.
Well, from what I can tell, we will be coming to blows with your father, so if you would like to work with us and become stronger, we might be able to fight him together.
That's all you get. He just goes like humph. Alright.
Any other conversation is I know Bird Boy just got some information. I don't know if he's sharing though.
Yeah, that's a good question. Does Kass share his new information? The group probably wouldn't have noticed him talking.
Yeah, you were flying ahead. You were saying like even beforehand.
I mean, probably not.
Right.
I have no reason to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, unless you ask. For some reason, you saw another bird come up.
Saw another little dot come towards your little dot.
That accent.
So the group. So we'll say that you guys, the hour or two remaining in your journey passes without incident, and you guys make it to what's it called? To Snowfeld with the sun setting. And when you guys enter town, you actually met with what looks to be an interesting sight. Let me get here. So, as you guys walk into the town, as you guys walk into the town, then it is business are pretty normal. But as you make your way to the center, you have to pass through it. Well, where are you guys heading? Like to the tavern or to straight to Theravel?
Well,
it doesn't really matter.
Is there like
Yes.
a jail in this place? In this town?
The jail would be in the keep. There's not going to be a separate prison, no.
So I'd have to go to the Lord, and we'll probably have to talk to him anyway at some point. So probably keep my kobold prisoner for today.
Okay. Yeah.
It's more weird looks.
Yeah, actually, so
Wouldn't Theravel be like a stop we make before we get to town?
Is it along the way? If it's along the way, definitely.
You kind of have to pass through the town to get to it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you can go straight there, no problem.
I was under the assumption that Jack had. I thought that Theravel was in the direction of the
monastery.
Oh no, he's actually slightly to the other side. Sorry, I can never really describe that.
That's fine.
He's like to the northwest.
What is it
of
we're
town,
seeing
but...
now?
So first off, as you guys are
Yeah, we'd probably go to Theravel.
yeah, so as you guys are sort of entering the town, first off, you do get some weird looks about the kobold, but nothing like too weird. Like there's a couple like kids playing, and then like one of them like screeches out a little bit, not like a blood curdling scream, but like and then but then they keep playing after a second, and like so you get some other weird looks.
And it will kind of jokingly be like, "Ooh, you are strong. They're scared of you already."
But as you start like passing sort of passing out of the farms area into like the couple streets that make up the center of the town, you actually hear some noise coming from the direction of the keep, like the front, like the square that's sort of in front of it, the center of the town essentially.
Where we had our magic show?
Yep, exactly, right there. So you guys are passing, you're getting closer to it. You're going to pass through that area. It sounds like, sort of, I guess a good way to describe it would be like, kind of like chanting, but not really a constant chant. It's just like, after every couple seconds you're like, huh! And then a couple more seconds, and then, huh! And then maybe like a couple clangs of metal and stuff. And it sounds like a couple dozen at least people are doing that whenever they do it in harmony.
Is there training going on in the town right now?
That's what it sounds like.
Maybe. I guess we'll see
dusk.
in a minute.
Well, so you start.
We should see about putting on a show tonight.
And so you start getting closer to it, and then you hear yelling as well, sort of over these noises, and it's specifically a woman is yelling. And as you guys get even closer, then you come around a corner and you see that, yes, there is actually training going on. It is actually about... hold on, I have the number here. It's about 100 or so, like, men that are sort of in lines and doing, like, drills, doing, like, push-ups or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter what. Actually, there's probably a few different things going on. Like, one group is actually, like, sparring, but yeah, there's, like, about 100 or so men, most of whom, in the square area, most of whom seem... they're all pretty young. None of them look to be super, like, buff. Like, none of them really look like they are warriors, per se. This looks more like these are just normal people. But they're training, and around the edges... So this is in the main, like, square here. And there's quite a few people gathered around to watch, actually. There's actually a lot of, like, kids running around like the outside of this area with like wooden swords that are also like trying to mimic what the men are doing, and the person, the yelling that you heard was from the lady, the one night lady, or whatever. Oh god, where is her name? I know I have it here.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
I have it somewhere. But yeah, it's the one lady who had sort of led you to Lady Arlana. That was it. And so you see her there in her whole get-up and dressed in her full plate armor. You see the other dude that she had with her that first time that had made like some snide remarks about you guys or whatever. He is standing right next to her. You also see two other people in pretty tanky armor. It looks like these are clearly like warriors, and they have the same seal on their armor, that are also sort of walking among the militia or whatever this is, and sort of yelling out commands, but not with as much ferocity as her, Lady Arlana. So yeah, it looks like they're the ones running the show. And you guys can sort of work your way around, or you can just, I don't know, what do you want to do with this?
Nox would look over at Anna and be like, Anna, did I miss the news? Are we going to war again?
I certainly hope not. I didn't realize that this town had such a militia. Is this the first you've seen of this training? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
All right. It's definitely not something I've seen around here before, that's for sure.
Is the local lord preparing to fight someone? I guess I'm gonna look for one of the women or children that are gawking at this and ask them what everyone's training for. Yep.
So you go over to this lady that is standing, sort of watching, and she's like, oh, you're one of those new travelers in town. You haven't heard, have you?
Can't say that I have.
Yes. Well, yesterday there was an attack on a town to the north of here, one of the smaller little communities, and a goblin attack actually. And luckily only a couple people were killed, but yes, the Lord he has determined that it'd be a good idea to get the militia training again. They actually have been sort of working on training more often, and they always train here. They call the men from the surrounding villages and surrounding areas, and they've been training all day today, with only a short break for lunch.
I'm surprised that this town possesses the weapons to furnish such a large militia.
Oh yes, well, the Lord, the Baron, he makes sure that he has enough equipment for a small army at the very least, and in fact he's been working on training these men, these same men that you see here, for the past year or so, every month at least, once a day or one day a month.
it's good to know that they'll be able sword hands if something happens in this town.
And she kind of chuckles. She's like, I don't know about abled, but yes.
Hey, an unskilled sword is still better than a pitchfork.
Better than nothing, I can tell you that.
And she nods and then goes back to like watching.
All right. Well, this is an interesting sight and all, but perhaps we should talk to the wizard before we retire for the night.
How late is it?
It's like sunset.
Yeah, sunset.
Let's go talk to the wizard.
All right. Sounds good. So you guys continue on the couple-minute walk to get to the tower. It's at Theril's tower. And when you make it there, it is sort of
I ring the bell.
Yeah, you ring the bell. There we go. You ring the bell, and Vince answers it as normal. He sort of opens the little slot for his eyes to peer at you. When he sees it's you guys, he doesn't even ask. He just like starts opening it, and he ushers you guys in. He greets you guys. He says like hello, and doesn't really say much beyond that. When you guys come in, you do notice that there is someone else in the room, and it's not Therivel. You notice in the corner, sort of like near the fireplace, but a little bit away from it, on a couch, or like a sofa or something, there is what appears to be like a sort of pre-teenager like girl of about like 12 or 13 years maybe. And she has a blanket over her, and she's sleeping on the couch there.
I'm going to whisper to, I forget what the doorman's name is.
Vince?
Yeah, I whisper to Vince. I assume she's the alchemist's daughter.
he's like, yes, yeah. And so as you guys are walking in, though, then it does appear like she does actually wake up. And
Rang the bell too hard.
Yeah, but with you guys walking in and stuff, then it does seem like she starts to come to, and you guys sort of, I'm assuming, like put your stuff down and stretch a little bit. You've been walking quite a while, but she doesn't like say anything. She doesn't approach you guys. In fact, she actually just kind of like pulls the blanket up almost over her head, so that just like the top of her head is poking out. So she's like watching you guys, but she doesn't say anything or do anything.
So Vince, where is Theri?
Theri, he's upstairs studying, trying to. He's been working. I don't even know how much he's been working. I don't even know if he's slept at all since you guys have left. Working on trying to uncover as many secrets as he can. But
would you tell him that we have a few artifacts that he might be interested in examining?
Yes, I'll bring him down right away. He told me to actually interrupt him if I need to whenever you arrived. He said it would. He would await your word of your arrival. Yes, I'll go get him right now. So he goes ahead and heads up the stairs, and after like 5 minutes, he hasn't come down. Do you guys like do anything? It seems like
I am going to sit in a chair,
all right.
Pick up any book I can find nearby, and start reading it.
Okay, sounds good. You find a lovely treatise on a specific type of mushroom and its effects.
All right, I am going to read it cover to cover if I can.
All right, sounds good. You get started.
Speed
that.
read.
So the
I guess I'm just gonna find somewhere to sit and motion for the kobold to find somewhere to sit down too.
Yeah, it seems like when when Grizzle's like, when you sort of motion for him to sit somewhere, then he like sort of goes into the middle of the room, like he like looks around for a second, and then like when he like looks at the girl, and she like, and they catch eyes, and he goes like and does like a little like face at her and jeers her, and she like covers her head and stuff and goes
Hey now, no need to scare her.
and Grizzle's like
I spit on him.
oh my god. Alright, so he just takes it. He growls at you, sort of. I don't know. He goes like, He seems very annoyed.
This is turning into a
So
thing.
what's this kid doing exactly?
Hiding behind a
We
blanket.
asked Theory to protect her.
Yeah, no, like what is the kid like doing?
Oh, she's just like hiding
Down,
under her
hiding,
blanket.
kinda. Being shy.
Being shy. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr.
Is
Big
there-
Big Half Orc, just go up and strike up a conversation.
Hey, you know what? At least I won't plunge a sword into this one.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
We're safe with this one. Is there like anything in the room that I would think that she would find interesting?
Probably not. Like it's kind of
We're
like
probably
a...
the most interesting thing in this room.
This isn't
That's
really a
probably
room.
true too.
It doesn't seem like this room is meant for 12-year-old
You can
boys
always
or girls to be
stab
in.
her and see if
Really.
she's evil.
This is like a lovely idea.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
So it doesn't really matter. Like, unless any of you guys are gonna like talk to her in particular, she's really the only thing that's gonna be interactable, I guess, if you put it in video game terms.
Interactable.
But
That's one way to put it.
yeah, no, but like you know what I mean.
Hit
Like,
the A
there's
button.
the room hasn't changed at all since last time you was here. Is basically
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
Anna's just
So-
gonna start fiddling with her viol while
Okay.
she's sitting down waiting.
Yeah, it seems like the girl actually sort of like perks up when you play music and like
I'm
launches.
going to start glaring daggers at you.
I will play with her.
You guys play together.
I
and,
start playing a song about a foolish elf.
Alright. So, so yeah, after about like 30 minutes, then you guys hear Vince and Theravel coming down the stairs again. You hear them talking, and when they come down the stairs, finally, then Theravel he comes down first and looks at you guys and says, "Ah, there you are." And let me just describe for you guys. He looks like he has not. His eyes,
Those are shit.
even though he doesn't like really need sleep and stuff, he's an elf. His eyes, they have bags under them. It seems like he has not had any resting time. Whether or not that means sleep, he's not had any resting time. Is what it seems like. But he still puts a smile on his face and he says, well, hello there, my friends. I'm glad that you are here, all right. Please, gather around. And he points to the sort of the dining table or whatever, and takes a seat there.
I will take a seat there as well.
You would probably get more done if you slept.
I don't have the time right now. There's a lot going on, but I appreciate that you care for me. Yes.
All right.
and he says, tell me what you found at the monastery.
This thing.
Where do we begin?
And I point at
Grizzles?
yeah.
And then he looks at Grizzly. He's like, "Whoa! I didn't even see that there.
Sitting in the middle of the entryway.
Where did you find a why do you have a kobold here?"
You see, he was bleeding to death at the entrance to what was left of the monastery.
The entrance. So there was something left.
The basement.
The basement. Huh. Interesting.
Oh, and a ghost.
A ghost. Huh. Of who?
Oh,
Someone
fuck.
who had died inside.
We
I don't
knew
remember
his
that.
name, I believe. Well, did we ever get his name
By
from that
Jack
paper? I
Stokes.
can't remember.
It's a great question.
I think you still have the paper, right? The note.
But yeah, I can't. If we didn't get his name, I'd just
No, there's
say
no name.
someone in the upper ranks of the monastic order who was defending it when it was attacked.
And what of this? Well, one thing at a time. So, this kobold, what has he told you?
Oh, quite a bit. He's a quite knowledgeable, actually. And I kind of say, so Grizzles, would you care to repeat what you've told us? It's better to get it from the source rather than repeat it.
And he goes like, and sort of grumbles, but then eventually he does tell sort of what he told you guys about, like about the Drake, you know, his lord father thing, the Drake.
Working with the hobgoblin.
He talks about the hobgoblins, and as well, and like the deal that they had struck, even though or sort of like, you know, them working together, even though he doesn't know really much beyond that. And yeah, so he tells her that, and Therival, he takes her and he's like, So
yes, they all seem to be tied together by some old cult that has to do with these stones. And I pull out one of the ones that we have that isn't destroyed.
And he like looks at it. Mm-hmm.
Does the Order of Dalrin mean anything to you?
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. Yes, I just a few hours ago I managed to decode.
I'm going to reach in my bag and pull out a book and hold it out to him.
And he almost leaps for it. He's like, what is that? And he takes from you.
It's a book we found in the monastery.
And he's like,
that, sir, is a book.
And he looks at it, he's like, oh, it's should have expected. It's coded, but I managed to solve a riddle, an old riddle I had on a scroll talking about this Dalrim thing, and I was hoping this would not be the same problem. And so it looks like he just sort of like sinks back in his chair, and he's like, "This is a great danger we face, whatever this is, and I don't even know much at all yet.
Do you know why they would have attacked the monastery?
Did you... This stone you found," and he points to the stone that you have, or had put on the table or whatever. He's like, this stone, where did you find it?
Let's see. We have two of them that aren't broken right now, don't we?
Yep.
In the shattered fragments of one.
That's true. Yep.
Well, we found one on a hobgoblin who tried to ambush us after we entered a cave. And where did we find the other one? Was that down in the
other one
in the
monastery.
Oh yeah, in the back of the monastery basement or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. So he's like, And in the monastery, was there anything else?
Giant petrifying caterpillars.
Petrifying?
Not petrifying, paralyzing.
Paralyzing, yeah.
There was also the tombs of heroes of the monastic order.
Some
of them had lost relics that were interned with them.
I see. And, well, I honestly don't even know what to think about where we should start with this, but I think that if I spend enough time, I may be able to solve the code of this book, and I managed to do it for the riddle I solved, the ancient riddle I solved talking about Dalrim, but I really wasn't able to glean much more information from it. If I spend some time, I'm sure I can eventually solve whatever this book means. I don't know how long it'll take, but I
don't know if we can afford to wait until we know what this group is planning. They seem to be gathering allies from many disparate places.
Oh, Therival.
Yes.
You are probably more knowledgeable about this than I am. When we got attacked by the hobgoblins, there was a sort of dog, canine type creature, and it breathed fire at us. Any idea what that might be?
He sort of like thinks about it, and he's like, That, well, that would have probably would have been a hellhound, as they call them.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yes, but that seems a little strange. Are you sure that's what it was? It breathed fire?
It was a dog thing, and it breathed fire.
It was certainly a dog that.
It nearly burned 2 of our party to death.
That is a bit odd. Those are not really...
Myself included.
Those aren't really common here. The only time I've even... I have seen them, but the only time I've even seen them was serving as pets or mounts even to very rare goblin tribes or sometimes orcs, but they're not that common. Not on the surface of the world anyways.
And what of Grizzle's father, this blue draconic
Yes.
creature?
Well, that is what I was just about to say. I do not know. Well, do we have the name? His name?
Yes. Let me scroll up. Tyrannovus.
And Grizzles goes like,
Oh,
yeah.
That's a name and a half.
And he's like, Tyrannovus. I don't recall having heard of a Tyrannovus in particular before, but I have dealt with drakes before. Vile creatures, just like full dragons, but oftentimes worse, oftentimes crueler and more prone to causeless, needless violence because of the fact that they feel almost inferiority complex. They feel inferior to the dragons. They'll never admit it, of course, but oftentimes they will focus all their efforts around seeming powerful, or...
I guess that would explain why Grizzles here says that his father murders any of the kobolds that gain any power above the others.
Hey, DM boy, how is Tyrannovus spelled?
Let me find it for you. I have it on here. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat. And that's how you spell it. But yeah, so he,
Oh, hey, I managed to spell it right.
yeah. So he, so terrible. He says, yes, well, and why did you find anything out about those hobgoblins? They had one of these stones, you said, right?
And
Yes.
the Hellhound.
And yes, the hellhound. But
And no matter how I look at it, it seems as if they were trying to specifically lure us in.
this,
Did we say already about the magic user thing?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Specifically? Nox would mention that.
Okay.
That
All right, and so he
was
says,
specifically looking for
Oh
magic.
yeah, he was asking for the magic users, which is pretty much all of us.
Yeah.
he says, well, it does seem like there's obviously a connection in some manner. Well, as I see it, we have a couple options here as for where to start, because sitting here isn't going to solve anything. I would say, whatever the case may be, I would request that you all rest here, because you are the most effective tool I have right now. I can work on decoding this, but I think we at least have a couple places to start. For one, this Drake seems to be maybe not connected directly, but in some way connected to these goblins, to the monastery, to there's some connection there, and we must investigate that. That is one thing. However, there's one other lead that I have not mentioned, but the riddle that I did manage to solve, that talked about Dalrim, which I only solved again a few hours before you all arrived here. this riddle, it was taken from a... it was taken a long time ago from a different group of travelers that went through the area, who copied it down for me off of the entrance to a temple in the mountains, not too far from the monastery, actually. Well, a good day's journey, but in the mountains, of course. And it was a temple. Oh god, wait, let me find the name. It is Temple of Davros, which is the god of stone, elemental god of like rock and stone. You know. So he says it was taken from the entrance to a temple of Davros that is in a mountain in the mountains to the east of here. And I don't know if there is anything there, but I would say it is worth investigating at some point. The travelers that had helped me with that didn't actually manage to go inside because there was some sort of creature that they heard rumbling from and they didn't even see it, but they felt the ground shaking and got out of there. But a bunch of cowards that they were. He sort of mutters to himself. But anyways, but yes, the temple had this riddle. I do not know if it holds more, but it has been abandoned a long time. Maybe any clues it did have were stripped from it, but it could be worth a shot. And with a riddle like this being over the archway, over the entrance to it, maybe there would be something there. In any case,
Did you say you have the riddle?
Yes. I managed to decode it just today.
Okay, so I spaced out. Did he say that he learned anything? Or we...
That he what?
Did he say that he learned anything from...
He said that he didn't... the riddle itself really just, like, let him know about Dalrim independently of when you guys brought it to him.
Okay.
He said
And
it
it's
didn't
just pointing towards this mountain temple as being somehow related.
Yeah,
more or less.
yeah, actually, so the riddle, if you guys ask, I'm assuming you guys would ask him.
Yeah, so since you're going to tell it...
Yeah, the riddle, it's something...
Well, share it, please.
Yeah, he's like, well, he'd be like, the riddle wasn't even really in the text itself. The riddle was solving it, which I have done, but it is more of a statement or a mission or something that was put over the archway at the entrance to this temple, and it said, and then I'm going to go out of character, but it was something along the lines of like something to the effect of, may the Order of Dalrim never set foot in this place, something like that, or like, and then maybe you would have a second line that says, and that this place may be an insurance of Dalrim's destruction, something like that. So again, it's not really super like useful per se, but it is like he's like yes, it talks about Dalrim, and but I do not know if it doesn't really mention anything specific. It doesn't say that it doesn't really say anything about this temple, so I don't know what to expect from it.
Do you think we should check it out?
I do, but it honestly could be more helpful to go for the Drake first. Maybe it would turn out more helpful to go for this. I do not know, and for this reason, I will leave it to you all.
I mean, to be entirely honest, I don't think we can handle a Drake, so let's go to the temple, or whatever you said it was.
I am inclined to agree. A Drake sounds just a slight bit out of our league.
Yes, and perhaps with time, our little friend here will consider joining us and helping us figure out how to handle his father later.
He spits at you, and this time it lands on the table. There's a glob of kobold spit on the table in front of your spot.
I spit on him.
And so Thurible is like he's like taken aback by that, but he's like
Well,
very well.
He is a kobold. They share no love for other races, but I promised him his life if he was cooperative, and he's been more than such.
Yes, well, that is interesting. He could be useful in finding.
Speaking of which, if we do investigate this temple, would you be able and willing to watch over him and perhaps teach him how the other races conduct themselves?
Well,
at least while we're gone.
The only thing I would say with that is that I don't really have the time to do that, and Vince here could, but I wouldn't want to put that just on Vince alone, especially not when we're taking care of Jen. And he sort of nods to
Was that her name?
Yeah, he sort of nods to the girl.
Do you know of anyone in this town that would be willing to do this?
Almost certainly not. The kobolds are not really looked upon favorably, as you might imagine.
I suppose we could always take him with us.
I just look at Grizzles silently, like thinking about it, like, oh. Yes, I suppose we could. If he proves himself trustworthy, I might even stop binding his hands every day.
So Thurible, he's sort of like while you guys are talking about this, he was sort of like flipping through the book some more, and he's like, I don't know how long it'll take me to decipher this code and for this book, but it probably will take at least a day, if not more. So I wouldn't have you. It would be much better for you all to investigate one of the leads we do have in the meantime.
Yes, also, the old man we met was rather insistent that these stones that we have should not be tampered with. Perhaps we should leave them with you, since they presumably possess some sort of magic.
Yes, the stones. Well, have you tried... he actually like looks to Element, and he's like, have you tried to identify them? They're almost certainly magical.
Unfortunately, I do not have the spell in my spellbook, nor do I have the means, the materials to cast such a spell. A bit out of my price range.
He's like, interesting. Well, I
had suggested we just throw one of these on the ground and shatter it like the first one we found, but the old man was rather insistent that we don't.
I have been quite tempted to try it.
I'm kind of suspicious that is what gave off that radio fear effect.
If it...
That's assuming they all do the same thing.
That is true.
We might end up throwing a fireball on one of our companions.
If you'd like,
well,
I could
wouldn't
just
throw it at ourselves. We would throw it at someone else.
Yeah, we'd throw it at the
so,
village.
Terrible. He like butts in. He's like,
kidding.
Terrible's like, I could
yes,
just.
there's plenty of people training in the square.
I could just identify it though, right?
I mean, if you're
offering.
Yes, I just need to take it upstairs to where I have the materials, and I would certainly.
I guess
I'd certainly be able to use identify on it.
It's not like we are lacking time. We won't be going anywhere tonight.
Yes, well, so
we're staying here anyway.
Yes, as I, yes. Oh, that reminds me. I actually also, before you leave in the morning or whenever, I do have some payment for you. And I can bring that down whenever I go up to identify this. It won't take more than a couple minutes to prepare and cast that.
You said you wanted us to stay here.
I had meant, in town, but if you really wanted to stay here, I suppose I could make up a few beds or something.
Well,
I was just going to ask.
we
for access
were
to-
going to stay in town anyway, so when you said stay here,
Very well.
see where we came to that conclusion.
Very well. If you would like, you can stay here since I may be able to provide additional help or information in the morning before you leave. I suppose that would be fine. I do have a guest bedroom, although it hasn't seen much use, but I can get Vince to prepare it. Well, would you
Mind if I just take my leave in the library?
That would be fine, yes. But actually, Elowen, would you mind
Yes?
going upstairs with me when I take this up there? I would like to have a private discussion with you.
Of course.
Okay. Very well. Yes, well, I suppose I can do that now, and I'll bring back down the payment, and we can make any arrangements for your travel tomorrow that I can help with. But otherwise, it seems like you guys are, and I'll bring down instructions for how to get to the temple. But beyond that, have we come to a conclusion about the course of action?
I believe so.
Very well. Come with me, Elowen, and Vince. Prepare the beds. All right, and so he leads Elowen towards the stairs and up the stairs. And you guys go past the second floor that had the library on it, and up to the third floor, which looks like the third floor actually just seems to be like where the bedrooms are or something. And then
Did I miss anything important? I was
no,
on
not too much. No. And then you go to the fourth floor, and in this level, then he takes you into like the room on this floor, the main room on this floor, Elowen. And this is like, you can tell this is a sort of like a laboratory room, sort of, you know. It has plenty of bookshelves in here, but it's obviously not like the library. This is like where he does research, as you could describe it. And
I am going to try very, very hard to keep my hands to myself.
sounds good. So he leads you in the doorway and closes the door, and he says to you, Elowen, so I trust your new companions just as much as I trust you. It is not that I have not brought you here.
Well, that's a bit disheartening.
Yes, I don't mean
just
it like
as much
that.
as the kobold.
I don't mean it like that. But what I mean to say is, I'm not bringing you here because I necessarily have my mistrustings or my doubts regarding them. But you are the most obviously magically inclined out of the group, and I know you're.
I don't know. Nox, she can do some crazy things.
Really interesting. That's I did not know that. She is a magic user too.
Yes. Wow. I don't even know.
You didn't see shit.
I couldn't
Exactly.
see what she did,
Huh.
but it was amazing.
I can't
Interesting.
remember. Did she cast Eldritch Blast out of the darkness at some
I
point?
did.
or
Yeah,
something?
a couple times. Yeah.
Because I couldn't approach without
Yeah.
either getting rid of darkness or putting
Yeah,
you all.
putting everyone. Yeah. So he's like, interesting. Well, let's. I suppose maybe I'll have to talk with her sometime. But I brought you up here because I have to admit to you, and since I've known you longer, I wanted to talk to you about this in private. Get an opinion from someone else besides myself or Vince, who I feel comfortable talking with, but Vince is not really the most magic-minded person. I have to admit, there is another reason that I want your group to go to this temple.
What might this reason be?
Well, you see, I don't want to go into details because I, to be honest, don't know the don't know the extent of the details either, but I have reason to believe that there is a larger evil at play, unrelated, as far as I can tell, to Dalrim. There is some force at play that I fear is amassing power or forces for an attack on either Snowfeld or Fellington or Alderland in general. I do not know. But that has been actually the majority of my research lately. That's why I've been so consumed with it. In fact, even with this Dalrim stuff, I gave myself enough time today, as much as I thought I would need, to finish up my research before you all arrived. I knew you'd be arriving today, at some point. I suspected as much, and it didn't even take that long necessarily for the riddle. For the whole book, it will take longer. But with this greater evil, that is the thing that really truly concerns me, and that is also the reason I have let you and your companions take care of this, because I think you are powerful enough. I think you and your friends together have the strength to defeat whatever this order is. As for the other reason for this temple expedition, I have reason to believe that there is some relic of some sorts within the confines of the temple. I have reason to believe there is this relic that could aid in the danger that I foresee. This relic, I'll describe it to you. I haven't seen it. I've never seen anything like it, but it is supposedly one of a kind in the world, but it is called the Might Stone. The Might Stone. And it is spoken of in very obscure legends from Alderland, and I believe it is some sort of object that allows the user to wield elemental power to an extent that I am not really sure of yet. I won't be sure of until I get my hands on it. And I believe that this relic may be in the temple of Davros.
And you want me to fetch it for you?
I would like you to try to find it, yes, and bring it here. But just I don't know if it has perhaps something, or forces around it guarding it. I don't know if it maybe has a curse on it. Be careful, basically, because I have no idea what it really is.
I always am.
And he chuckles. He's like, sure.
What visible skin I have is just covered in ash right now.
Because of the hellhound. Yes. That's really all. I just want you to be on the lookout for this, and I have good reason to believe it is in this temple or was in this temple. So, if you could make a point of trying to find it, at least spend a little bit of time. I know that you are pressed for time, and we all are, but you can tell the group. I don't really care. I just wanted to, if anything, tell you in private to gauge your reaction. It doesn't seem like you're too troubled by the implications of this.
I did fetch quests, as I like to call them, all the time at the college.
Yes. Interesting. But yeah, do you have any questions, any concerns?
What does this Might Stone look like?
Ah, yes, I forgot to describe it. When you find it, it should be it will look like a stone in its texture, in its shape. Probably a good sized stone, about the size of a small ball that children may throw back and forth between each other. But the most you will certainly not be able to miss it, because the way it is described to me, the way I've found descriptions of it laid out, is that it is a swirling mass of color within
Well,
the
that
rock.
seems like it would be rather noticeable.
Yes, within the rock there are colors, almost like a rainbow of colors swirling within the rock, and it has I believe it also has a faint glow, nothing powerful enough to light anything, but really the color is the main thing, and I assume you won't forget that, and that'll catch your eye.
And how do we like the temple? You
Yes.
said the riddle was above a door in it?
The riddle I originally used was at the entrance to the temple. An archway.
So is the entrance like locked or something? Why hasn't it been explored before?
There are a lot of well, for one thing, it's actually not really near any towns or anything like that. It's quite a ways off into the wilderness. When I think, like I said, it downstairs, it was abandoned. It's been abandoned for quite some time. I think it used to have people living in the near area. And beyond that, it's called a temple, but it honestly is similar to the same structure as the monasteries of the oh god, whatever the wind goddess's name is. Yes, that similar to the monastery, the ruins of the monastery you went to. It is more secluded and meant to be a place of silent, solemn place of worship, less than a temple similar to one you'd see in a town. And beyond that is one reason why there's not a lot of traffic in the area, but there are also a lot of rumors surrounding it, saying that it is a dangerous place to be.
I think that covers everything.
Yes? Any other questions? Just let me know before you go. As I said, though, with that other, that's the Might Stone, you can tell your group. I just, if you feel that you shouldn't, then you don't have to.
I will keep that in mind.
Very well. If you would like, you can go back downstairs. I would like to have some private workspace where I can identify these stones and yes.
Before I go,
Yes.
you mentioned something about pay.
Ah, yes. I will bring that down.
Alright. I leave.
Alright.
And I go downstairs and say, well, the money will be coming soon, and I'm just going to go to the library and start reading a book.
Okay. Alright. So after like maybe 15 minutes go by and stuff, then Theravel comes back down the stairs, and when he passes through the floor that has a library on it, then he there's not any doors, just like opens up into the library. So he sees you there reading. He's like, come downstairs with me, Eloin.
I go downstairs.
And so the rest of the guys, you guys, you've been sitting here 20 minutes or so, not too long. And he's like, he comes up to you guys and says, for one thing, he's actually in his hand, he's holding what appears to be like some little coin purses or bags, and you can see sort of the coins in them. And he plops them down on the table. There's a bag for each of you, and meanwhile, I should actually describe before we get into this. Jen, the little girl, has been sort of watching you guys again. She was listening during that whole conversation, and when she sees these bags of coins and hears them clink on the table, she goes like, "Ooh." But anyway, and Grizzles as well. He's looking at it they're not bulging, but they're decent sized. And so he drops these little bags in front of each of you, and says, "This is I had wanted to get more than this for you all, but unfortunately the Baron is not a very generous fellow. You see, I think I may have discussed this with you all, but I don't serve him directly. I serve the Duke of Felling, and thus, when I go to the Baron with requests such as this, normally he entertains them, but normally he doesn't. Normally he doesn't go out of his way to help me. He lets the Duke do that, and I have sent for the Duke to perhaps bring in more suitable amounts of payment for you all, because I have found out now that I sent a messenger after I found out that there is greater things going here, and I sent for more resources as well. But for now, I hope this is enough. Do you guys look at it? I'm assuming.
I'm going to take one of the bags and I'm going to dump it on the table and start counting.
Right. Yeah. So you find that it is there's 10 gold and 150 silver. Yeah. So 25 gold worth, but it's 150. Wait, is that right? Yeah, 150 silver and 10 gold. So for each of you, not total, for each.
I accidentally wrote 106 gold instead of 16. So,
That's a lot of silver.
Well, you wrote it down, so
Yeah, it's 150 silver.
So
each of you.
let's see, 10 gold, 150 silver.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of coin.
It is a lot of coins, yeah.
but
Yeah,
also
a lot
less
of
than
coin.
we ever made. I mean,
Well, you see, silver didn't exist in the other game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just
it was only
gold
gold.
and bigger gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was gold, platinum, and copper.
But yeah, when Anna starts looking through her bag with Grizzle's kind of eyeballing him, like, if you join us as a comrade, you'd be getting one of these.
He's like,
She's right,
and but yeah, so
I spit on him.
oh my god.
I spit on you.
didn't do it. Yeah, this is
I
fair.
spit on Anna.
You're in a spitting
Oh,
match
my
now.
I punch you in the face.
I
Oh,
punched
here's
you
the
in
party
face.
out.
Insufferable.
Anna,
Alright.
you know you are better than this.
Yes, apparently, if you say so. But this bird isn't.
So Therival then he goes, and if we could put aside our differences, the other thing is, of course, that I have identified what these stones are, these objects. You had mentioned that you had thought they were the source of that red light.
Yes, the red light that was all fearifying.
I don't believe
all
that
red
was the
and stuff.
case. In fact, what these stones are consumable. I don't know. Consumable sounds really meta. Usable, yeah. One-time use teleportation items.
So they're essentially scrolls, just written on something other than parchment.
I think so, but the difference is that these do not need to be cast. You have to. This is the tricky part, is that you have to know a code phrase, some set of words in some language, and that is what I don't know, of a set gateway that they lead to. They don't just take you anywhere. You have to know the identifying phrase of the travel point you wish to go to. I had never run into any of these before, and I've seen stuff similar to this in other places, but whatever it is, I don't think that these places that can be traveled to are going to be very common. However, if you could find what it is, this might be an additional clue. But yes, as far as I can tell, you just say the phrase that leads to that place, and while you're holding it, and you can teleport. Out of character real quick, what identify, does it give you all the
Identify tells you exactly how to.
Okay, yeah.
If there's a
So-
Yeah, if
there's a
it's like a cast, a
If there's a
used item, it tells you how to use it.
All right, yeah,
and
sounds good.
all of the things to do with it.
Yep.
Other
it'll-
than, I can't remember if it tells you if it's a cursed item, what the curse
It
does, or
does
if it is
not.
cursed.
It does not tell you first.
Alright. So then
but
he
it will
says,
tell you the command word, but it sounds like the way you've worded this.
It's a
That there will be
special circumstance where you need a
defeat.
yeah.
Right.
well, yeah, I
You need,
actually
you need a code phrase on top of how to use it.
Yeah, I based this off of like a spell actually. What was it? Teleport circle, I think. Yeah, teleportation circle.
We can use the stone, but we don't have the destination
Exactly.
that it's tied
Yes.
to.
So
Yeah.
that's like the one reason why
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, that's fine then.
Yeah, it's similar to teleportation circle, which is
So
a
if we're
spell.
able to learn where the circle is, we'll be able to use these things.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Probably don't want to, but we
Yeah,
can.
not yet anyway.
it's not the same as teleportation circle, but the relevant parts is like if you care to look at it. But basically, it's like there's a unique like phrase that you have to
Yeah.
have that leads to that. So yeah, it's not like I'm trying to limit like teleportation anyway. It's just that this is how this one object is made. But yeah, so then and then he says, as far as I can tell, when you are if you lock hands or lock arms or touch other people that are willing, then you can also travel with more than one person. You can travel with a whole group of people.
That is very good to know. It will
Yes.
definitely
Why
be
was
holding on
this
to
one
this.
broken?
I'm assuming, well, when you use them, then they are not usable
Oh, so
anymore.
they don't just become inert.
Yes, I'm assuming that is how they become unusable, as they break.
So whoever's been abducting people must be using these to get away.
That would make sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, that would be logical.
What time of night is it, by the way?
It's like, I don't know, a couple hours past sunset now, so it's getting close to bedtime if you go to bed early.
It sounds like we're planning on going to the mountains tomorrow at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Anna would be good about
Definitely.
going to bed early and probably getting up early
Yeah.
to get ready for the trip.
For sure.
But yeah,
I
so
should say as much.
yeah, and so he says, oh, and yes, and one last thing, and then he pulls out like a scroll, not a magical scroll, but just a scroll that has written on it sort of like milestone marker, or like not markers, but like landmarks, I guess is the word, that you can use to get to the temple. So you guys know how to get there now.
The burn tree and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
mountain.
Yeah, it's like this
that
mountain
river.
and this river. Yeah, so he gives you guys that the directions to get there, and he says, are there any other questions that I can help answer for you all?
I don't think so.
Very well. I will. I will let you all rest, and I will. I'll get to work again, I suppose. And
Oh, terrible.
yeah.
I believe it was Nox that had the book I couldn't write in.
What is a book you couldn't write in?
Yes, it was a book that nothing could be written on the pages. It was quite the odd thing, really.
That
Nox will bring it out and say, "Oh yes, I found this just it was on one of our counter raids. It was just on with one of the goblins. I don't really know what to make of it, but I've kept it because it's very interesting."
Interesting. Well, I mean,
Seems like a lot of magic to waste on a potty trick.
I mean,
I agree, but I'm not the one who wasted it.
that's certainly interesting, but I don't know what I could do to help or anything.
Do you know how we could write on it?
Not right off the top of my head, no.
Who knows? Maybe invisible ink will stay on the pages.
Maybe, actually. Do you have any lemons?
Lemons?
Yes, lemons.
No, we don't have any lemons here.
I suppose lemons wouldn't even be. Where are lemons normally grown?
I don't know. Not here.
Probably
Kind of
not
warm
on this
places.
fucking island.
No.
Too cold here.
Yeah, but anyways, he's like, yes, well, I will take my leave then, and Vince will, Vince is back down here too. He's like, Vince will show you to the rooms whenever you wish to sleep. And with that, he like turns and will walk away. So what do you guys do with the rest of you? Have maybe an hour or two before you should probably get to bed. I don't know. You don't have to even if you don't want to. Yeah.
Is Jen awake?
Yeah, she's been like listening this whole time. She actually dozed off a little bit when he was upstairs. But now she's awake now.
All right, I'm going to take a seat next to her.
She edges away from you on the seat on the couch or whatever.
I won't bite.
What are you?
So, word is that you have some magical talent.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, most people I've known to have some magical talent like to show it off.
And she's like, what? I mean, I don't know. I don't really care to do that. But if you want, I can.
Well, I don't want to force you.
And she's like, And she's like, she like thinks off to it. It looks like she thinks for a second, and then she like reaches out with her hand and does like a motion, and then like says some stuff out loud, and casts prestidigitation, and like you're like just like a little breeze goes through your hair or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And
now I'm going to show her up, and I'm going to snap my fingers, and my owl appears on her shoulder.
Okay, and she's like, oh, and it's on her shoulders.
Yeah, it's on her shoulder.
Yeah, she looks
right
at
shoulder.
She looks at it as like, oh, and she's like, can I pet it?
Go ahead.
And she seems like excited now, and she starts like petting it. And so it seems like she warms up a little now. She's like,
At least there's one friendly bird.
and she's like, so what? Who are you all? I've never seen you before.
We're some workers hired by Therival, I suppose you could say. Or did you mean our names?
It doesn't matter.
Well, I am Elwyn, and I extend my hand out to her.
She like hesitates and then shakes your hand. Also, the rest of the group, would you guys like still be around? It's sort of like hanging out, relaxing a bit. You'd probably still.
I think Nox would probably be like doing what she can to clean her stuff
Okay, yeah.
and herself.
Yeah, Anna would go to wherever
Also, I'm
she's
still
going to
covered
sleep
in
with
soot
drizzles
and
and ash. Probably cast Cure Wounds on myself after getting punched by a monk.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys are here,
Crumbling myself. Imagine Grizzles just thinking that's fucking hilarious that I got punched in the face.
Alright, so I'm going to assume that she was reticent to shake my hand because it was covered in ash, so I'm going to like wipe it on myself, and it doesn't affect anything because my clothes are also covered in ash.
Yeah.
Why are you covered in ash again?
Because
Because I got burnt,
yeah,
and that's how I am
'Cause it got-
making it logistically.
she got fireballed, or not fireballed. That'd be real
Fire
bad.
breath. If I got fireballed, I'd be
Right.
dead.
Yeah.
Well, admittedly, the one roll did like 20 damage
Yeah, it
if it
did a
hadn't been
lot.
mitigated.
Yeah.
So it did like the base damage of a fireball.
Yeah. So anyway, so she so yeah, the rest of the group is probably in the room and can butt in anytime if they want. But yeah, so she's like shakes her hand and then she's like, "Are you all wizards?"
No, just me.
Oh, just you. And she looks like kind of disappointed by that almost.
Though most of us here have some magical talent.
Oh. And do you know where Layna is?
Layna was the girl that got taken that I set up the alarm thing, right?
Yeah.
I haven't a clue.
She's a good friend of mine. When all of us kids would go and hang out, then she would always be the older one that would make sure we didn't get into trouble.
Well, we will find what happened. We will find out what happened, and depending, we will bring her back, or we'll bring what's left of her back.
All right, that's enough.
She goes like, you know.
The eloquence.
She like doesn't. She like looks down and doesn't say anything for a good like couple minutes.
You know, Ellie, you might be the least graceful elf I've ever met.
I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
That's your problem.
Why am I? What? She, after like a couple minutes, and she speaks. She's like, why am I here? I wasn't really told anything. And Vince, Sir Vince, he seems nice enough, but I only briefly talked to the wizard guy.
Well, the disappearances, they've all been of people with some arcane talents.
Huh. I see.
And we
People-
had predicted that, I already forgot her name, would be
Layna.
the next one to be taken.
Layna.
Oh,
And
oops.
we did arrive there just after she was taken, and it was quite unfortunate.
So you're saying it's partially my fault since I use magic?
No,
Yes.
we're saying you might be the next one to be taken.
Child.
Oh, that seems not good. Well,
Yes, that's why you're here, because Therival and Vince are probably the most capable people of, well, thwarting off any would-be capturers.
Very, very, very well. Well, that's good to know.
If it helps, I can set up an alarm, so if any unwanted trespassers come into this room, I would be notified.
It's fine. I'm not worried. I think that Vince can take good care of me. He seems like
Well, I'm going to go to the library.
Well, nice to meet you, Elowen.
And nice to meet you. And I go up into the library, and I never return.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so we'll just sort of
Roll a
say
nature.
that the
Yep, I'm just in there forever.
the next couple hours go by with you guys sort of relaxing, and you know it's been a long day of travel. That was after another long day of travel and fighting both days, and you know you guys are probably a little tired.
By the way, Gregory, what cantrips does your character have?
Booming Blade, Firebolt, Mage Hand, Shocking Grasp.
Alright.
Yo, how great would it have been if this girl Jen had just like cast a fireball on you and you asked her to do magic? That'd be
We
great.
all would have.
We
died.
would have died. The building would have been
She
blown
would have
up.
died too.
Yeah, she would. No, but-
Unless she's like
That'd be
level
great, yeah.
15 or something.
yeah, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, so we'll say that you guys all sort of
Yeah,
like
I'll be right back.
yeah. So you guys all sort of the rest of you spend this couple hours to just relax and stuff before going to bed. We're not going to worry about the details.
Clean up our gear, get ready
yeah,
for
exactly.
bed.
Vince leads you guys upstairs, like shows you the room whenever you guys want. You know, it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. Do you guys do anything in particular that needs to be taken care of, or ask anything in particular?
I don't think so.
Nah, Anna's just gonna sulk.
Yeah,
Sulk.
Yeah.
Getting punched in the face does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
My character actually can't damage people by punching them mechanically. I have a -1 to my damage
That's
with
funny.
strength attacks.
That's funny.
So
So-
I basically tapped you on the face and you punched me for a D4.
I mean, technically, I could have punched you with strength, which I'm like very weak in.
Well, you
Yeah.
can obviously pull your punches, but I physically cannot hurt you.
That's funny. Well, so the
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
so the well, yeah, so we'll say that you guys, you all get to bed at a decent hour, because I'm assuming you want to wake up pretty early and get going. You do, so the
Like,
travel.
Anna would get up as early as she knows that
Mhm.
the provisioners would be
Yeah,
open.
there is a general store in town, actually, sort of like a provisionary store. It's a big enough town that it has like enough travelers that pass through to have that. But there is also so there's that. But I should inform you guys so that there is the travel is about 2 days' time, 2 full days of travel, away from here in the mountains to the east and a little south is where this temple is, and yeah, so it'll take two full days. The first of which, by the end of the first day, you'll be able to. There will be like a little village or something there that you guys could camp at, and or find like a little inn at. But then the second after that, though, then it's mostly like wilderness and stuff. Once you get to the mountains at that point, the direction that you guys are going to go is mostly just like tiny paths maybe, but it's going to be pretty open wilderness. So keep that in mind if you buy provisions. There will be the dangers of the wilderness there. That is always a risk. But especially in that area, it gets kind of the further you get. So consider that'd be common knowledge, or you would be warned of that by Vince probably. But in any case, so yeah, it'll take like 2 full days to get there, and yeah, so you guys all go to bed and everything, and wake up bright and early, and you're fed breakfast by Vince. He actually is a decent cook, you find now.
I'm probably awake before any of them.
Yep.
Because I'm an elf.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, so you are in breeding, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You find some more treatises on mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm a mushroom expert now.
Yeah. And so so you all do get you get a breakfast on the house and everything. And when you're eating breakfast, Jen also eats like with you guys, even though it is pretty early. She she's up and eating with you guys and just kind of is looking around. She always keeps glancing back at Ulf and at Grizzles. In particular, those two she keeps looking at.
Who's looking at me?
The girl, the 12-year-old girl. And
Okay.
and she but she doesn't say anything the whole time during breakfast. And so you guys, Therival doesn't even come down. Actually, Vince sort of like asks you guys if there's anything he can do to help.
I would ask Vince to watch Grizzles for a couple hours while I get provisions, since the townspeople wouldn't exactly
Yes,
tolerate
I
a
was
kobold.
Also going
wandering
to
around.
ask something similar. Where might I find a general store? 'Cause when I was coming into town, I seem to have lost my tent,
Yes.
my bedroll, everything
It's,
survival related.
It's just off down one of the side streets in the town, and he like tells you guys how to get there. But yeah, I actually my laptop is about to die, and I don't have the charger plugged up. So 1 sec, I gotta get the charger. 2
Break
seconds.
time.
2 seconds.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna get some
Time for the
coffee.
break.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
I think we got some people getting coffee.
Okay.
I'm back.
Alright.
Now he's back.
Let me open up my general store thing as well.
Also, what kind of gear does the Grizzles have other than probably very shredded up armor from getting stabbed to death multiple times?
Would you have, I'm assuming you would have taken his weapon with you?
I mean, wasn't
I
he
think we
unarmed?
technically
'Cause he
left
was
everything the
almost
kobolds
dead?
had on the ground.
Well, he didn't have
no.
it on him, but it was like in the area.
No, we didn't take it.
No, we
Alright,
didn't
yeah.
take anything.
That's
Like-
fine.
like he
I
was
mean, there
actually
was just
dead?
like daggers on the ground. So yeah, if you guys wanted to have taken them, that's
Just
fine.
whatever he was wearing.
They're
At the
just
time.
daggers. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has like rags on, honestly, and nothing else.
All right, but yeah,
Um,
would the guy be willing to babysit him for the time that we're provisioning?
yeah, Vince is like he basically tells you that he'll do that. He's like,
Alright.
he's willing to babysit him for a couple hours.
Couple hours.
Yeah, probably not
At
even
most.
that long.
It's
so,
only a few minutes to town, I believe you were saying. So
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes maybe. So let me see so there's a general store. You guys find out that the general store is run by this dude named Bryn the Generous. No, not Bryn. Bjorn. Byrn.
Bjorn.
No, not Bjorn. He's Bjorn.
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 He's
Yeah,
Bjorn.
Bjorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bjorn.
But he's Bjorn the Generous. He actually, and so like, he is the only general store in town. And when you guys sort of like, I'm assuming it doesn't matter who's going in. But assuming you guys are all going together, then there is yeah.
Fox would definitely hang out with Layna.
So you
I'm
guys
going
see
because I need stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys see that there is the general store actually has its own separate building. So like in the center of the town, then like some of the buildings are like connected and stuff, like townhouse style. I don't know, but most of them are separate little like shacks once you get to the edge of the town. This one is separate and it actually looks quite nice. It's a stone building. It is it has a nice like sign on the front that says Bjorn's general store, and it has a very nice look about it. This guy clearly is like well to do. I don't know. So when you enter, then you see at the like the counter, then there is what appears to be like a like 15-year-old boy sitting here, and he looks very like he's like almost like half asleep, but he wakes, he perks up once the door opens, and there's a little bell that goes off, cue bell. Yeah, there you go.
I have
And
to reach across my entire desk and around
Yep.
some stuff in order to grab it.
and he's like, oh well, hello there, welcome to Bjorn's general store. How you doing?
I'm in need of some supplies.
As well.
Yes. Well, I mean, what can we do for you? What do you need?
a tent, a bedroll, and some hemp rope.
Tent, a bedroll, and some hemp rope. Yeah. I mean, I think we have all that. I can go look. Maybe not the tent. I don't know. I'll go see. And so he sort of goes into the back room. There's some stuff out here in the front room. Most of it's like, there's like there's actually some bread from like the local baker that has been specifically being sold here. There is actually some rope on one of like the counters here. There's some like rations and stuff, like some jerky, sets of jerky. I don't know, like fishing poles. It's general stuff. Lots of there's like some jugs and pitchers and like other dishes. And so he comes back, and he's like, yes, we have a bedroll. We also do have a tent. We don't often get the tents. Normally the people that come through are just passing through and not meaning to adventure, and most people have their own tents. But we do have one. And the rope, yes, that we have rope right over there, pointing at the counter.
I will grab a length of rope.
Alright. Sounds good. So he is like, with all that being said, that'll cost you, let me see. And he looks through like a little piece of parchment that actually looks like it has the pricings listed. And he's like, yeah, that'll be 5 gold.
All right. I take out 50 silver and just like dump it out like a big handful of 50 silver.
Oh, silver. I suppose that's fine.
I'm willing to count it if you don't trust me.
No, it's fine. And he takes it and puts it like below the counter.
Would you prefer it in copper?
I don't have that many copper.
I normally Bjorn, he always tells me that it's better to take gold, but you know. Anyways, that's fine. The next person, could I help you?
I guess I'll go next. Anna goes up and tells him, I need another number of things in halfling size if you have any.
Sure, yeah, we carry
I'm
that.
assuming, considering the population
If
of
you're
halflings.
looking for armor and arms, it'd be better to go to the blacksmith, but what do you need?
I need some common clothing, rations, a coin purse if you have it, a bedroll, cloak, and backpack.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, bedroll, backpack, clothing, rations.
5 rations.
5
I'd say.
rations, alright. Okay.
Oh, and would you be willing to take this as trade-ins? And I pull out, let's see here, a longbow and a rapier.
Yeah. So he looks at it. He's like, oh, yeah. In fact, I think that would cover the cost just about right. Yeah, yes.
So we'll call it an even trade then.
Yes, that should be fine.
All right. So let's see. Get rid of these.
He
I'm
takes
gonna
those.
assume that Theravol took the book and the broken shards from the stone thingy.
Wait, hold on. Not a rapier. I know I had something else. Nah, it's just a bow. So how much gold would that be then?
They
I don't
would.
think I have anything else randomly, unless I have another. Okay, yeah, just a longbow.
They
Of course,
would.
that's still like a bunch of gold too. Come to think of it.
Yeah, they would
That's-
accept that as a fair trade.
Okay, and I would inquire after the armor that he mentioned as well.
You like armor? Just like what type of armor? We don't really carry
just,
too much.
Just some simple leather armor for about a halfling-sized creature.
Yes, yeah, I could do that. I got it would be about 12 gold with 5 silver as well.
Very well. Let's see that. 17. All right.
Right.
Then 5 silver. Okay.
Do you have a son that you're training?
Something
not,
like that.
Not exactly.
Ah, yes. Well, I hope it goes well. Any winks? Friendly wink.
Do you by chance have any scrolls or know where I could find some?
Like magical scrolls or just for writing on?
Yes, magical scrolls.
I don't think we have any, but we have over there. We have that, and he points to like one little shelf where there's actually like a couple potions. It looks like.
I'm going to like search through there and look if there are any scrolls because that's what I asked for.
There are no scrolls there. Or well, I mean, like yeah, like there's no no yeah, and he tells
So-
you there's like.
I imagine the shopping will take a little while longer. Presumably, I don't know how many
next
more people are getting
question.
stuff.
Nox would just get like 5 days of like trail rations.
Next question. Do you know if there's a public bath house or anything in town? Somewhere where I can freshen up.
I mean, the nearest bathhouse would be in Fellington. There's most people just go in the river.
Anna kind of just looks at her like, "Are you still covered in fucking ash everywhere?"
Yes.
I just walk up to you and start casting prestidigitation, and dust goes flying off everywhere.
You killed him.
That
Fatality.
wasn't entirely necessary, but I appreciate it.
I just don't understand how.
And I'm
Wizard
going to
doesn't know
take
the
a
spell.
bottle of perfume
Oh,
out
God.
of my bag, and I'm going to spray it on myself.
So let's see. Does anyone else have anything they were going to buy?
Just like 5 days of field rations.
All right. That would be like 2 gold and 5 silver. 2 point.
Oh, as an afterthought, Ada would ask if they have any manacles.
Manacles.
Yes.
We don't really carry that here. Most of the time, the manacles that we use in the town would just be made by the blacksmith and sold to the baron, who would be the main person using them.
Perhaps I'll ask him if he has any on hand still.
I'm assuming he can make some for you, even if.
Well, we'll be leaving town for a few days, so.
Okay, very well. Yes, well, yes, that you'd have much more luck there.
Do you know if the town has a bookstore of any sort?
No bookstore.
Peasants and books.
No, they occasionally.
Please, these people aren't peasants.
I didn't say that.
I mean, we
Don't worry.
are peasants, but
You're the working class. Have some self-respect.
he's like, yes. Well, I mean, hopefully that'll change when I get my apprenticeship done. But anyways, no, we don't have any bookstores, but you might be able to find some books from people in the town, but you're gonna have to work for that.
So I guess Anna's gonna go to the blacksmith and see if he happens to have manacles, and otherwise order some.
Does anyone else need anything from the general store before we do that?
I'm currently looking through the player's handbook to
Alright,
see if
that's
I
fine.
need anything.
Yep, sounds good. We can come back to that. So you go to the blacksmith, Anna, and the blacksmith is there. His name. I don't think you guys have
Stuff's so
interacted with him.
expensive.
His name is Lars. Lars the Smith.
Lars.
Yeah, and he's working. His forge is outdoors, so he gets air and stuff. And he's working, and he has 2 teenager sons that are helping him. Yeah, they're very clear that they're his sons. Like, they look pretty similar, and they're the right age.
Hello. I have sort of a strange request, I guess you could say.
Oh, yes. You're one of those travelers passing through, aren't you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to be in possession of any manacles currently, would you?
Manacles. I actually do have a pair. I keep some in hand in case the Baron comes to me needing some. They wear out every once in a while, but yeah, I could. I got some in the storage, and he goes
Now.
in. He goes and
All right.
brings them out. They're like human-sized normal manacles.
All right. I'm like, I suppose they would primarily be human size. You don't happen to have any smaller ones, do you?
Like,
Halfling size, for example.
oh, do you have a halfling boyfriend then?
No, not quite. A kobold. I have
A
Oh.
kobold boyfriend.
yes, boyfriend.
You. Oh, I thought this was like,
You put
No,
I-
this is
I need
purely
them for a
sexual,
prisoner.
yes.
a prisoner, a kobold prison. Oh, that makes much more sense. Yes. Yes, I have some that would fit on a smaller person. And he goes back. He comes back out, and he's like, "Yes, these are and they're like, it's like cast iron, you know. He's like, these will hold anything that small. It shouldn't have any trouble. They're not going to be able to break out of it. They don't have the strength for that, obviously. And these are smaller, so I'll give you a cheaper price. Only 1 gold piece for these.
I kind of look them over and let's see here. I'm assuming they'll just come with like 1 key and.
Yeah.
All right.
And they just have like a short chain that links them together.
Yep. All right. Well, that seems fair then.
Yep. He's like, yep, very well, and he gives you manacles.
I say thank you and head
Who knew the
back.
people of Snowfeld? Colorful imagination.
Are there any instruments
Do I-
in the store? That's a good
Do I
question.
really look like I'd be fucking kobolds?
Yes.
Or halflings, like, come on.
Wow, what's that supposed to be?
I mean, at least halfway are people.
There would be some instruments in the store that you could get. It'd be like nothing too out of the ordinary, but there'd be like a flute and then a couple.
What are you fucking like?
I will buy a flute.
There's also like some horns if you want.
No, this is just what happens when
I
you
was just
Google
looking for a
manacles.
Oh, yep, there's flutes. There's also bagpipes in there.
I mean, I don't want bagpipes.
There's 1 set of bagpipes, so.
For whatever reason, manacles is more closely related to sexual conduct than.
Well,
hand-
All right, is it a flute or a
There
pan
aren't
flute?
too many people in the modern era using.
It's just a
handcuffs.
flute, not a pan flute.
I imagine you'd have better luck if you looked for handcuffs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying.
Wait, did you
Even
link
then.
something? Oh no.
Manacles are more closely related to sexual conduct.
Well, right, because like you said, no one uses them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright, well,
Nox asks if she can get 20 crossbow bolts and a case for them.
yeah. Yeah, you can definitely get that. For
You have
the
a crossbow?
low price.
She does not have a crossbow.
So you want crossbow bolts in a case.
Yes.
That would be. Where is. That
She
would
doesn't have a
be.
crossbow that you can
Oh,
see.
It'd be
you
like-
have that spell. Yeah.
It'd be like 2.5 gold, so 2 gold, 5 silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
She will pay that.
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, does Ulf get anything? Matthew? Okay. Alright. Sounds good. So, we'll say that you guys go ahead and assuming that's everything, then you guys go back to Therivel's tower.
Actually,
As
do.
we
I don't know
walk
if they
back
want
there,
me to
I'm
just.
going to just be
Oh,
The what? Sorry.
correct.
as we walk back, I'm just going to be like dooting on the flute.
Alright, do it
But
on the flute.
I don't know how to play this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any like training? Do you have any proficiency
What kind of
or
flute
anything?
did you get?
A flute.
Just a normal flute.
If you don't have
Is
proficiency,
it a pan flute or a flute?
then
Doot, doot, flute.
Because I know the pan flute.
It's a flute.
it's a normal flute. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the normal flute.
Yeah, sounds good. So you go ahead and head back there. When you make it back, you find that when you're right back, when you like walk up to the door and ring the bell, cue bell.
Where is it? There it is.
There we go. You hear coming from insides like yelling, like muffled yelling. Sounds like Vince is yelling. Then after a second, when the bell rings, then it stops, and then he comes up to the door. Like he opens it just a slit, so you just see one eye this time. And then he opens the door, and you see that he's holding Grizzles by the scruff of his neck.
Oh, what did you do now?
And he's like, and so Vince, he doesn't even like wait for you to say. He says, this little scumbag kobold was trying to steal stuff.
I mean, did you expect
did-
anything better?
Yeah. Did you expect him not to?
I thought you would have taught some sense into him already.
Well,
surprised he
I
hasn't stolen from
think
you
we
guys
have.
yet.
He hasn't tried to stab you, has he?
No, he didn't try to do that.
See, we're making progress.
Yeah,
He's better than we found
Baby
him.
steps.
fair. Well, in any case,
I'm not gonna do it.
whatever, it's
You
fine.
really didn't do a lot of stabbing when we first met, and that was mostly your doing, Ulf.
I mean, Come on now.
Yeah. So he
I'm going to say I'm incorrect.
so Vince, he sort of like lets you guys
he hasn't
in.
stabbed us since, has he?
He never has stabbed us.
Yeah, he is.
Oh.
So Anna just looks at girls. So what were you trying to steal?
I was trying to steal one of those nice metal plates.
What would you do with a plate?
I don't know. It's just nice looking.
Again, if you work with us, you can have your own money and buy these sort of things instead of trying to steal it. Speaking of which, I have some things for you. I pull out a big bundle of stuff.
He's like, and he looks at it, he's like, it's for me?
Yeah, you're going to be traveling with us after all.
And he just grabs it all quickly out of your hands. He goes like, "Arr!" He's like, "Arr, arr!" Like he's excited now.
All right. So I'm assuming he puts it on.
Yeah, he puts on the backpack or whatever.
Yeah, there's clothes and armor. And everything.
Yeah, puts on the clothes, and he's like, "Oh, let's go."
I imagine it's probably a little bit more complicated than the kobolds are used to, so I'd probably have to help them.
Now I can hold all the stuff I steal and more.
Well, hopefully you won't have to steal any of the things you put in there.
Yes, and the armor makes it easier to kill humans. And
The armor actually doesn't help you kill humans.
That's true.
That's what weapons do.
you're right.
More to keep you alive, in case Ulf gets urges again.
Look, I was just trying to get information out of the kid, alright?
So Vince,
The
he's
kid,
sort of like...
I think he's almost older than you.
Well, then
think-
he
I
lives
think
a
he is.
good life then, huh?
I think he is actually older than you.
22.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we talked about his age. I think he said he was like 30 or something. But yeah, so he's like, but yeah, so Vince sort of like, he sort of like watches you guys getting everything packed up and getting ready to go. Because I'm assuming you're about to like leave at this point.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
And presumably the kobolds used to getting tied up whenever we're going somewhere, so it's instead of rope, it's like, nope, manacles. Here you go. Nice shiny manacles.
and he's like, what there?
Hey, you still haven't decided to join us properly yet. I can't trust you.
And he just
Without-
grumbles and then he spits at your feet.
Hey, it's better than getting rope
I
burn, isn't it?
spit on him.
And he goes, and so, but yeah, so then, so you guys get ready to go. Do you guys do anything else or just start traveling now?
I think we're ready to go.
I think we're ready.
All right, sounds good.
Did
So,
we sleep? Oh, wait, yeah, we were.
yeah.
Good morning. Yeah.
So you guys,
we're-
Good morning.
We're just buying shit in the middle of the night.
so Vince sort of like wishes you guys good luck and sort of like is standing at the door watching you as you guys, walk out the door.
I'm doing on my flute.
Yep. But before you guys have made it like 15 feet, then you hear a voice piping up behind you guys. It's like wait, and you see Jen actually like running out the door to you guys, and she says, wait, can I want to go with you guys.
That's probably a bad idea.
And Vince he like comes out of the door now and like comes to like get her.
This is definitely not a trip for young women like you.
But Layna's my friend. You guys are trying to solve what happened to her, right?
You're serving your friend better by staying safe. And with Thari and Vince is where you're safe. In the middle of the mountains, that's not the case.
But I want to help. I want to help
No.
save Layna.
Do you want to die?
But
I was about to say that.
My God.
but I can use my magic to help.
Do you know any offensive magic?
Offensive?
I hold up my hand, and as has happened before, I'm going to be like mid cast of shocking grasp, and like between my fingers, a Jacob's ladder.
Okay. And she's like,
Elowen, even if she can, I'm not going to take a child to kill people.
I mean, how old is she?
she's 12.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
Oh my god!
Elowen's reaction.
Seems like a decent age to fight for me.
It's funny because she's physically, obviously a child.
We have like a weird group because how early does the Bird Boys race mature?
I'm younger than her.
I'm.
Oh my god!
Wait, is that true? Oh my god, that's right. You're
I
like
guess
12, aren't you? Yeah. I forgot about that. I think Bird Boys. I had it on there. I'm pretty sure.
And kobolds are mature at like fucking 2 years old too. So
Yeah, let me see.
It's just like-
I know I have it here.
Oh my god.
Seems like a fine age to me.
But
How
yeah,
old is Annie?
my character is 25.
So of the non-elves, my character's the oldest, I think.
So you're technically the most mature if we're assuming that elves mature mentally slowly. Which even if
I don't know.
Sure, she's not exactly.
I think Elowen might be the least mature.
I mean, to be fair, based on how I rule elf ages, she is 19.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair. But yeah, so
what you're saying is that the kobold is technically more mature than
Yes.
your character.
That's
He's
right.
just
Kobold is
he's
also
more
just a
socially
kobold.
awkward
He's just
just because he
bloodthirsty.
grew up in a completely different society.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, so she
And he's an asshole.
she says
Whereas
she's
I grew up in a library.
yeah
essentially.
she says she's 12 and Elowen
Yeah.
is surprised.
Maybe you should stay.
But and Vince is sort of like he's like behind her and it's like come on Jen, it'll be these people can find Layna and help her and you just get yourself hurt.
I say she comes with.
And Jen goes like, really?
No.
No.
She is staying here.
Oh,
We already have to make sure this kobold doesn't die because Anna's got tripping on a hero complex, which is fine,
and,
but we're not going to take a helpless child into the woods.
and then Grizzles he goes like, yeah, plus I might kill her. he clearly
If
is
you
only
try,
half
you'll be
joking.
dead in
I
seconds.
spit on him.
And he goes,
I'm also going to spit on him.
oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
He's like
Go.
he looks like honestly like a little sad by this at this point, and he doesn't show emotion, so that's saying something.
I just like one hand in my face, in the other I just like press the digitation and off after a minute. Like, it's like, since at least the kobold isn't spitting directly on people anymore, and you're just all spitting on him when he does shit.
Yeah. So
Kind of has it coming sometimes, though.
so anyway,
I'm not
so,
arguing, but it's still disgusting.
So
It's
so
not
Jen,
helping either.
so Vince is like yes, I agree with them.
It's not helping.
I agree with Nox that you need to stay here, Jen. Maybe if you were a few years older, but no, you need to stay here.
Trust me, child. You don't want anything to do with these people.
And Jen,
Yeah.
when this is all done with, maybe I could teach you a thing or two about offensive magics. And
Ooh, that sounds
if
cool.
this happens again, you would be.
And maybe she'll teach you something about social etiquette.
That's in character last. Definitely.
Yeah. And Jen is like, oh,
I
yeah.
have half a mind to punch you right now.
I imagine it would do even less than when I punched Kass here.
All right, we need to settle down a little bit here.
Yeah, and so Vince, he's sort of like, okay, well, Jen, yeah, let's
I
go
think
back
the punches
inside
would.
him.
Do you have a -1 or a -2 strength? I'm pretty sure you dumped.
I have a
strength,
10.
Okay, so you just break even. You'd be able to punch me, but barely.
So he so Jen is like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll stay here then. I hope you guys find Layna soon, and the others who've gone missing. But
So do we.
yeah, bye. And then she kind of like
Bye.
waves and and walks back inside. And Vince he sort of shrugs his shoulders.
If
go and
he
lean
stays
down
at the
next
door
to her.
after, make sure she doesn't try and wander off on her own.
And he nods. He just nods.
Before she leaves, I lean down and say, "We'll get you out there one day."
Okay. Yeah.
God damn it.
All right. Sounds good. So you
False
guys.
promises. False promises.
So yeah. So and then.
Well, from his character's point of view, he's probably serious.
Yeah. And
That's
so
true.
then you guys are free to go on your way and start traveling, right? So I'm going to keep... So I am going to keep in mind... I'm going to use the same marching order and watch order that we determined the first time.
Can you remind me what that is?
Yeah.
I had no idea what that is.
The marching order was
I'm
Ulfgrush
for
first,
sure.
and then Nox, then Elwyn, then Anna, then Kass above. So not really anywhere,
Okay.
You
but...
should just put us on the map or something in order, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like
a great
tokens of
idea.
us?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll do that. Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, I was having this idea, oh yeah, the kobold to hang out with the group and learn how normal people act. This group is not the kind of group to emulate.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Especially the way it's been going this session.
Cass is up above, and then who am I missing? I'm missing Elwyn, Nox, I don't know, Anna. Is that right? Let me see. Yep. Alright, so that's the order we're gonna go with from right to left, which
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. And then the watch order, oh yeah, there we go. The watch order is, Ellen was gonna take first watch by default, and then Nox, and then Anna. They're gonna split it 3 ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that was gonna work fine. But anyway, so this first day of travel, though, so like I said, one thing I should note is that overnight the temperature dropped and it's staying down, so it's actually pretty cold now. So it's a good, it's maybe a little above freezing, but it's pretty darn cold now. And it's pretty cloudy out, so maybe it'll rain or snow. You're not sure, but it's not raining or snowing yet. And yeah, so you guys were told sort of that if you kind of just follow upstream, pretty much the same way you went to the monastery for the first day, then that'll be on the same path, and then you just have to keep going further to the east and south a little more at that point, basically following the river most of the way, whereas with the monastery you had sort of broken off from the river at one point, a couple hours away from the monastery. So yeah, so you are told that there is a little village that you could stay at that has a little tavern. It's a different one than the one you guys stayed at the other time. And yeah, so you guys hit the road. So all we're going for the... I am going to have us roll random encounter stuff, but not for this first day, because it is a little bit more civilized. It's not as dangerous, not as wild. And I'm assuming you guys want to sleep in a tavern, right? Or inn?
If we can, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's one that is the appropriate distance away on the first day, and nothing of interest happens the first day. Again, it's sort of what I described the first time. It's there's a good bit of trees, and then around the river and stuff, and you're passing through, winding along with the river, winding through hills. Towards the end of the day, the trees start to thin out. It gets a little more hilly, and so really what happens is the stuff obscuring your vision stops being the trees so much. Now it's hills, it's rolling hills sort of, and there's a lot of sheep here that are being herded in different places. That seems to be the main crop. Sheep are the crop. And yeah, so you make it to a tavern. Nothing out of the ordinary happens this first day of travel. And yeah, it's a small little village here. And we won't go into too much detail, but what would you guys, unless you guys want to go to detail with anything?
It's fine.
All right, sounds good. So I don't know, lodging, I guess, would cost
Nox, Anna, let's put on a show.
What? Sure. I mean, you're not planning on playing that flute, are you?
No.
Good.
I'm sure you could tell, but I don't know how to play the flute.
I'm sure everyone quite a distance could tell.
I'm not.
Were you telling the truth?
I mean, I wasn't dooting on it super loud, but I was dooting on it.
All right.
Like, in like 3rd grade, when you played on one of those plastic recorders, and you were just like learning how to play it.
See, I never actually did learn
The
how to play
Devil's Flute,
a recorder properly.
Yeah. So the
I'm dooting on it like that.
so you guys
Doing real good.
do you guys
Cross bonds over and over.
what do you guys
again.
decide? Are you gonna put on a show?
Yeah, I mean,
Why not?
we'll offer to put on a show in exchange for rooms.
Yeah, they'll say that if if it goes well, then they'll give you the rooms for free. Otherwise, they'll give it to you for half off.
Okay.
And so what do you guys play? Just describe me. Is it going to be like a country ballad or an old folk song? What sort of thing are you going to play? The audience here, it's pretty like rustic,
Polka.
We can play.
The
it's
devil
like-
went down to Georgia. So are we doing just music, since we have people that have magic but are literally not able to music?
I mean, I'm doing magic.
I mean,
I'm
Nox
gonna
would
try
just
and get
play-
Rizzles to juggle.
Nox would just play and sing.
I'm gonna try and convince him, like, you're good with your hands, right?
Yeah. He's like sure.
I
hope you don't have
I
the
imagine
shackles
that
in your hands. at the same
I'm just
time.
gonna like try and find some rocks or something for him to juggle. Like, have you ever juggled before?
He's like, here, let me see it.
And I hand him the rocks.
And then he turns and throws it at Kass. It misses. It misses, but he's like, and then he spits in Kass's direction.
He might kill you if you keep doing that.
I'm going to assume Kass spits at him.
Oh,
again,
is SirPurplex not here?
because Purplex
Yeah,
is
he's
here.
tucked away.
Oh no, rip.
Anyway,
I was hoping
Anyway,
you'd-
back on topic. I go grab it, and
No,
I
have
demonstrate
come
how to
back for
juggle.
this.
Okay.
Mm,
I pick up the rock and throw it at him.
do you want it to make an improvised attack? I don't know.
It would be an improvised ranged attack. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I guess you could do that. We can see if it hurts him. I don't think it's gonna kill him.
it's
I
a
don't think it can.
dex roll without
Yeah, just a
your
dex roll.
proficiency.
I think monks are monks proficient with. No, it's only certain types that
I
are.
don't think so.
No one's proficient with improvised weapons unless you're a tavern brawler.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's the
Those are
town brawler thing.
special.
Uh,
Kobold's got leather armor on, and I don't know if you have his stats in mind or not.
what is leather armor?
12.
It's 11 plus dex.
All right, leather armor is 11. Studded is 12.
Or studded. Yeah. That's right.
Let's see if it would hit.
I imagine Kobold's probably have a
would-
decent dex.
It would hit. It matches his AC. His AC is 13. So, yeah.
Okay.
So it does hit, and then it does 1d4 damage, right? I don't know. Oh wait, there's up for me to determine. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah, it is a 1d4. Alright, so he takes 2 damage. It draws blood from him. It like hits him on like the cheek, and he starts bleeding, and he goes ow, ow.
I shrug.
And he says, "Stop spitting on me."
I spit on him.
he just sits there and like look and pouts.
You know, for someone who claims to be so powerful, you really are rather stupid.
He spits in your direction.
Nox materializes a bow in her hands while she draws an arrow and knocks it at him and says, "I dare you to do it again."
he like looks like he's considering it, and then he's like, and doesn't.
And then the bow disappears and she puts the arrow back.
Can't you just get along with people?
And he just grumbles.
So we were discussing what to do for a show.
Anyway, I'm just gonna bring him off to the side, away from them for now, and demonstrate how you juggle, and tell him that if he does that during the show, I'll give him a few copper pieces.
Right? He like he's like he like is like, oh, okay. Once you tell him that there's, you know, money in it for him, he's like okay, I guess I have to do that.
You see, most of the races, well, I can't say everyone, but most people do things for each other in exchange for money rather than threatening or stealing. I imagine you cooperate with your own kind like this.
Mm-hmm.
The other races are willing to do with pretty much anyone that's not hostile to them. All right.
And then,
lesson over.
yeah,
So he'll juggle some stones for a few copper.
yeah, he agrees, begrudgingly, and so yeah, so you guys are gonna put on your show then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess go ahead and roll me your performance checks.
Ooh,
So I am also juggling, but I'm juggling with mage hands while my familiar goes around and touches the rocks, casting Shocking Grasp on them to keep in beat with the song.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try and play a nice, cheerful, calming song.
Yeah, Nox will go along with Anna.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm gonna have a beer.
Okay, yeah, you have a beer, meanwhile. And
And
you get some weird looks, of course, just, you know, at first.
if
'cause
I
you're in
remember
work, but-
correctly, we determined that juggling would be a dexterity performance check.
Yeah, I mean, that would make
Alright,
sense.
so that would be a +5. So I got 14.
Nice. Yeah, sounds good. So you guys all, you all go ahead and, you know, do your stuff, and it looks like it's going pretty well. It gets quite a little crowd going here. This is this is sort of like it's a little village. There's not too much going on, but with that being said, that means that there's limited places to drink and stuff. So a lot of the people that were going to be in here anyways stay, and more people come, and a good little crowd gets going, and you guys get some cheers whenever you finish a song. And yeah,
Was Grizzle's able to actually juggle?
he juggles a little bit. People give him really strange looks, and he kind of is just by default sort of like pushed off to the side, almost like at the side of the front little area where the, you know, local talent performs. He's just at the side of it because no one really is paying him much attention. And so he just like is sitting there kind of pouting while he's juggling.
Aww.
He does an all right job though. He doesn't really.
If he's juggling between songs for me, I'll give him a little clap here and there.
Yeah, and he like glares at you.
What? I wasn't being condescending.
But yeah, and
I
so,
look kind of hurt if he glares at me. Like,
and he shrugs while he's doing it, and then almost drops one of the things. That's okay.
clutches
Lucifer.
himself.
Yeah, but yeah. So then he still has blood flowing from his cheek, and yeah. So then
Thin-blooded.
yeah. So then you guys. So you guys do all this. And it goes pretty well. So then when you're done, eventually, then
So I have a special finale.
Oh, okay.
Is there any fire nearby?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
like
no.
yeah, it's pretty cold out, so there's like a little little fireplace.
That's how we
Alright.
were banned from the town.
So I am going to cast pyrotechnics,
Ooh.
Oh no.
and off of the fire, a long streak of smoke shoots off into the air, and then explodes into colorful lights and a crackling sound.
Ooh.
And I cast that twice.
That sounds nice. All right, when you do that, everyone in the tower goes like, "Oh!" You know, like
So you extinguished the fire and filled the room with
No,
smoke.
it doesn't extinguish the fire.
I think it does.
Hopefully the roof isn't made of thatch.
And the so yeah, the the crowd they all like go like, "Ooh!" A couple of people actually one person like shouts and says, "The building's gonna catch on fire," and runs out, but no one else does that. He was just paranoid. And but yeah, everyone goes.
I follow
Smoke
that guy.
persists for 1 minute.
I can.
You can extinguish, but
Yeah. So the everyone seems to enjoy it though, and then everyone starts clapping. You get like a standing ovation for this finale and the performance in general. So, yeah.
Afterwards, I go over to the Grizzles and ask them, "Have you ever been drunk before?"
Oh no.
I don't think a drunk kobold is.
I'm not
really
talking to you.
right
I walked over to him.
There. Sometimes when we go on raids, we'll take ale and stuff.
Oh. I hand him a silver piece. Let's have a drink. And while we're walking, I'll heal him.
Okay. He takes he takes you up on your offer. While he's still manacled though, right? How would he even juggle him?
I unmanacled him while I was there watching him. So
Alright, that makes sense.
as long as he's behaving, I'll leave him
Alright.
hands free.
Sounds good, and yeah, so you guys start to drink together. As for the rest of the group, you're told by the bartender that that was indeed sufficient for, the.
I'm assuming if Grizzles doesn't know, I'll just explain to him, like, just give him the silver and he'll give you back copper or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so you guys all get your first drink on the house because it was that good of a performance as well.
oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
yeah.
So I'm just going to, instead of getting alcohol, get some more tea to put in spruce tea.
nice.
Spruce
Yeah,
Wigs.
sounds good. The bartender though, when you when you guys all come down from the little tiny stage area, whatever, then and ask if that was good enough or whatever. Then they say, yeah, it's all covered. Here's you get a free drink. And they're like, except for that one though, pointing at Ulf. He didn't do nothing for the performance. He can't stay here for free. He can still stay. He just gotta pay.
That seems reasonable to me.
I've been paying for drinks.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't doubt that. I'm just saying you gotta pay for your room too. Sorry. So a deal's a deal. You didn't do anything on your part.
I never said I was staying here.
That's fair enough. I'm just letting you know, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Oi, mate.
Beyond that, I mean, honestly, if you're not going to stay here, I don't really mind. I mean, if anything, that'll make some of the other customers, the paying, staying customers, more happy.
Well, that's just rude.
I mean, I don't really care that you're here, but some people do. Some people don't really like orcs,
Well, then it's their goddamn problem now, isn't it?
So are you going to sleep outside? in this
I
time
mean,
of
that's
year?
where I've been sleeping for the majority of my life.
Fair enough. I guess if that's what you want.
Right? Alright. Well, so what do you guys do? Do you guys all just drink and hang out, or do you go to bed relatively early?
Yeah, I'm not gonna drink very much since I'm babysitting our little friend, making sure he doesn't get into business.
Yeah, so Grizzles, he buys a full pint.
That's probably a lot for a kobold.
Yeah, he buys a whole pint, and he starts drinking it, and about halfway through, it takes him a while to drink even half of it, and at that point, he is, very clearly, already feeling it.
You feeling it, Mr. Grizzles?
He's like, oh, lad, this is the good shit right here.
Is this just a reenactment of poetry drinking?
Yeah, exactly. And so then he actually, so he starts drinking, and he starts he actually opens up a little bit, and will talk to you a little more. Seems to be a little more talkative.
He'll tell me about his life.
He'll
about
tell
how he hates
you.
humans.
He'll tell you about his dad. He has daddy problems.
Oh God. I guess I'll play therapist.
Yeah, he doesn't go too into detail, and we'll play out the whole thing. But he basically just says how he hates his dad because his dad doesn't even know his name,
Huh.
and stuff like that, and complains about that. uh, and then yeah, he goes on about that for like a good 15 minutes or so, and you're just like listening, taking it in. What do you say anything when he finishes talking about that?
I just kind of sigh when he mentions a father. Like, I haven't seen my father in a while.
You haven't?
Yes, honestly, the reason I'm here originally is to find some information, but I haven't been able to find time with all of the goings-on.
Well, I mean, honestly, from my perspective, it's a good thing you haven't seen your father. For kobolds, we don't really, well, I don't know. Our parents don't really take care of us.
Well,
They
my
use
father was
us.
always good to me. People say he did something bad, but I don't know for sure.
Well, maybe I would have gotten along well with him then.
Maybe.
And then he nods and, like, chugs some more ale.
Let's see here. I guess I'd ask him, like, if there's anything else he enjoys to do.
He's like, no. Just raid and kill and fight and I don't know.
So you never have time to, play music or...
Sometimes we do war chants.
Guess that sort of counts.
That we talk about killing things, slitting their throats, all that good stuff.
I think you would get along with certain circles, but the common folk generally don't like discussing killing.
You're talking about him, right? And he points to Ulf.
Probably. Although, you two didn't exactly get off on the right foot starting out.
We don't really like orcs too much. Sometimes
How
with
close
orcs.
am I to this conversation right now?
Probably not
Roughly.
too far. Like,
Like, if you're not completely drunk, you'd probably notice eyes on you at
and
some
he like
point.
pointed at you, so yeah.
All right.
Oh, God.
Question:
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Are
cause
there any
drama.
books in here?
No, there's no books in here. This isn't like a hipster coffee shop with like a book on a coffee table.
I didn't know there might be like a little bookcase.
No, I know, but no, they're unfortunately not in this place. There's like decorations on the walls of other types, like lots of like there's like heads of deer, that are stuffed, and like a bear's skull above the fireplace and the mantle. There's stuff like that, but no books.
Also, I just want to say, the fireworks spell is a 2nd level spell.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, so
More long resting.
Yeah,
so
that's why I used it.
Anyways, after a couple hours of drinking, I get up and I leave the tavern. I
Where do
tell Anna, "Oh, see you guys in the morning."
Well, be careful out there.
yeah, where do you go to sleep?
Where are we again?
Just like in a little town to the east, up the river,
That
upstream.
doesn't help me.
Like it's a pretty hilly area.
Right there.
There's a lot. I mean, like, there's like places where you could maybe sneak into barns that have sheep in them. Use a sheep
You
as
could
a
literally
pillow.
camp if you got a bedroll and want to build a fire.
No, is there a? We're right there. Okay.
That's just where I'm putting it for now.
Are we?
Probably a little
is
further
the-
than that, maybe. But yeah,
Oh, whatever.
roughly. Yeah, right there. That's good.
Is there a blacksmith in town?
There's a tiny little blacksmith here, but by the time you guys have gotten here and it's nighttime, there's not like it's not open.
Well, that's fine.
But I mean, his forge is just like an open area anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go there.
You're just gonna sleep like in the blacksmith's work area?
No. I would knock and let him know, or ask him if it's okay if he had room for someone to stay for the night, and that I will get up and start the forge for him in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, so you go to the blacksmith's house and knock. And when he answers, it's like this dude in his like late 20s. He's not that old or anything. He's like, oh God, you're not okay. You're friendly, aren't you? What can I do for you? You don't have to tell me. You basically just tell him what you just said. And he's like, oh well, that's a bit strange. To be honest, I have 2 little kids that would probably be scared by you, and I don't really have any extra space in here. It'd probably be
I
easy.
can stay out in the forge if it makes it easier for you.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Do you know your way around starting up a forge? There's already some embers in there.
Yeah, I was a blacksmith for a few years myself, so
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
I suppose I have no reason to distrust you. It's not like you're gonna steal my anvil or anything, so...
That'd be a little difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, he is an orc. He's pretty strong. He can carry a lot of stuff.
Fair enough. What's your name?
Ulf.
Ulf. Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Ulf. My name is Corey, yeah. I mean, I have no problem with it. I suppose not really comfortable, but suit yourself.
Yeah, I understand it's a little weird, but
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
let's
head
be
to
honest.
bed.
The taverns in town, they rip you off pretty damn good.
I don't know. I mean, it always seemed like a nice place to me.
Understand.
But I mean, I always figured it was fair trade, offer people beds for money. But
How did we get so dysfunctional?
you guys are like anarchists. Anyway,
I don't think that's true. At least my character.
no, yeah. He's like, well, I'm gonna go to bed. So I suppose I probably I might see you in the morning, but see you later, Ulf.
Good night, Corey.
Why did you have to name him Gory?
I
Yeah, why did he need a name for him?
actually don't know. I had a line of reasoning. I was thinking about
Streamers?
I was gonna name him like John, but I already had named other people John, and that's also just super generic. So I was like, but then when I thought of John, then I thought of one of my old friends from like middle school whose middle name was John and his first name was Corey. So
his name still has the word John.
yeah. I mean his middle
His name was Corey John.
Corey John. Yeah. I mean he didn't go by John; he just went by Corey.
Yeah,
Actually, maybe it was the other way around, and he went by Corey, but that was his middle name. I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah, so you go to sleep. However, I'm gonna let you know that since you're just sleeping, like, do you have a bedroll?
Dude, don't tell me you didn't.
If you don't,
I should have had a pack that I got.
It probably has a bedroll.
Explorer's pack, yeah. So I do.
okay. All right, sounds good. So you set up your bedroll.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, that it's not very comfortable at all. There's like some stray pieces of like coal or charcoal underneath you that are poking your back all night.
I feel like I would have cleaned up an area before I.
Yeah, but I mean it's still rocky ground. It's not like it's a floored area.
Well, that's fine.
Can't be any worse than camping outdoors.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at
there's like a nail that
the
pokes into your butt
background
when you sit
of-
down originally.
when I was raised,
Yeah.
it's
Well, no, it's fine though. so yeah, so you sleep there. The rest of the group, do you guys just go to bed after a little bit?
Yeah.
Right? Sounds good.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you guys sleep. We won't go over the details. In the morning, you buy some food and stuff. I'd say for food, if you guys, and for like drinks that you would have bought for yourself beyond the free drinks you got, then maybe just like take out maybe like 1 silver each. Yeah.
All right.
Seems fair. Yeah, and it's pretty cheap ale. None of it was very good, but yeah. And
It
you guys,
tastes like piss.
yeah. So yeah, so you guys get going.
favorite.
That's true. But yeah, so you guys get going pretty early on in the morning, and we won't go over the details again of getting out of town. I'm assuming not much is going on. People are just going about their daily lives, working, shepherding, and you guys head out. So for this day of travel, you guys are pretty much, this is like the last town, or not even town, last like village or community before it really turns into mountainous territory. There's like a couple, little trails that you're going to be following part of the time, but it is pretty wildernessy. So I...
Oh, God.
Wow.
What?
Goes to
Wow.
Discord.
Did I cut out?
No, you just went
No.
really loud.
Screeched a bit.
Oh, that's weird.
It's a nice little.
Alright. Oh yeah, so
Careful, you might confuse Kass.
So I will, we're gonna say, it doesn't really matter who I pick, but we're gonna do a roll for a random encounter today.
You don't have to tell us that. You can just do it.
No, I know, I want you guys to roll it though. So...
Just tell us to roll a dice and be like,
oh yeah, I know.
oh, you don't
I'm just
fucked
letting
up.
you know so you know why, this time at least. So, Ulf...
I'm gonna roll it.
Oh, I was gonna say Ulfwood, since he's leading, and then we'll just take turns from starting from that place.
What am I rolling?
A D12. Okay. Sounds Gucci. So as you guys
Welcome to our death, boys.
so as
Ancient Ride Dragon.
alright, so as you guys are going along, the day at about like midday. Well, so you guys, like I said, the population, the density of stuff sort of thins out after this point, and it becomes very much more like just hills, rolling hills and mountains, and it's very cold out. Again, it's like maybe a little below freezing. It's pretty cloudy still, but luckily it hasn't rained or snowed yet. And it's just kind of a dreary day that you guys are just walking along. And at about noon or so, about midday, you are going along and you hear like some clanking sounds like it's from a couple hills, like over a couple hills away. Like it sounds pretty distant, but you hear it clanking. It's like dink, dink, dink.
Wisps of darkness coalesce in Noctis' crossbow, and she loads it.
Alright.
Just in case, she says to everyone else.
Alright. And it's sort of...
would probably do sword and board here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you guys are sort of like heading towards this noise, and it doesn't sound like it's coming towards you, more like you're going towards it. But it's like dink, dink, dink. And as you guys get a little closer, you think that you're maybe like one hill away from it, and it sounds now, it's a little more clear. The sound sounds almost like a hammer striking metal or something.
There's
Kind of like
myth
a
out in the woods.
forge.
What earth? I motion for everyone to wait, and I want to try and stealth over to the hilltop where I could see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Does everyone agree to that plan?
You do you.
All right. Go ahead and yeah, roll me a stealth check. Oh, nice. All right, so you sort of again, these are sort of rolling hills. It's not like it's an effort to climb up, but you sort of make your way to the top. When you're near the top, you go behind some rock crags, little outcroppings, and move from one to the next until you can peer over, sort of like you get the angle that you need to see what is beyond this hill. And what you see is actually that along the tiny little path you guys are traveling on, not really a road at all by any metric, but along this tiny path up ahead, in this next little like dip, there is what appears to be some sort of like wooden wall around a little area. It is it's not very big at all. It's like I'm trying to think. It's like a circular sort of palisade, wooden palisade here. There's a little gate that opens out onto the path here, and there's like a little tower there, a very basic watchtower, and you're able to see that on top of this tower is an orc. They're not dressed, they don't have any armor on or anything. They actually just have like clothes, like normal, orc clothes. They're kind of rugged, but it's not like it's just a loincloth. It actually has clothes on. And he just seems to be scanning the countryside.
And he's the only orc I see out?
You see a couple inside the walls of this place going around. You don't see the source of that clinking noise, but it's definitely coming from there.
What do I know of orcs that actually inhabit the mainland here? Are they generally hostile or neutral?
If you run into orcs like on the road randomly, there's a good chance they'll be hostile, but stuff like this you have seen before, or at least, maybe not, but you have heard of these things existing. It's most likely like a camp, like a stationary camp. These orcs have settled down. They're no longer like nomadic or anything. And most of the time those orcs, they might not be super friendly, but they're not like uncivilized.
Alright, I'm going to go back to the party, tell them what I've seen.
Okay.
And after I do that, do you think we should say hello, or should we just go about our business?
I say we just sneak around them. No point in bothering them.
I couldn't agree more.
Don't see a reason why we need to sneak around him.
Orcs around here aren't exactly. Then again, no offense, neither are you.
I might be a little hurt by that.
They could perhaps
fucking
know
God.
something about the surrounding area and the temple, though.
Do you want me to go ask?
I don't know if you'd
I
be the
don't think
one
you
that should do it.
ask. If anything, would
I
be the
think
one
myself
to
or
ask.
Ulf would probably be better.
How about you send your bird over? See what they do to it.
Well, it's just going to look like a bird. They're probably going to attempt to eat it. They might attempt to eat you if you flew over.
Why don't
Yeah,
you try?
Let's test it out. I fly over.
Yeah. So
I
you
will
fly.
send my bird alongside him.
You fly over the hill, and like you could like swoop down over the little camp.
I'm just gonna fly above them and yell out, "Hey!" Yep. What I'm
you,
gonna do.
hey. And you see when they do that, then they all start like you see them below all start like rushing around and stuff, and like coming out of the like tents that are set up within those walls, and then one of them yells up to you and says, "Are you friend or foe?" And you guys all hear this. He's yelling this. So you on the other side of the hill, you hear this.
I tell him I'm as friendly as he is.
And it seems like he like talks to the other ones next to him. You see him talking down there, and then he yells back up. He's like, you make us worried, bird. Get down here if you want to talk.
Okay, I get down there.
Do you just like
Get over here!
What do you mean? Do you land?
That I
Are
I
you
don't
gonna land in the palace?
necessarily, but I go down there.
All right. So you're flying a little bit above them now, and
I mean, like I'm probably only a couple feet off the ground.
okay.
So you're just like casually flying next to them at this point.
You know, bird things.
They're all like they all sort of like get around you and surround you, and they're like, "What do you want here, bird?"
Well, you see, I was just passing through and came about your guys' camp here.
Why have you intruded upon our business?
I mean, I don't mean any intrusion. I just, you know.
We value our privacy. We'd appreciate it if you left.
Will do. Goodbye. I leave.
Hey. And
I go back to the group. I tell them, well, I mean, they don't seem friendly, but they don't seem hostile, so we're probably fine just to go past.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Rather not make any enemies if we don't need to.
Alright. Is that
There
what
we
you
go.
guys do?
Yep.
Alright, sounds good. So you walk over the hill and like start walking down this path that will pass by this little place. And as you guys are walking by, you hear the clinking noise had gone away. And actually, when Kass had been down there, he had seen that there was actually like a little forge inside of this place, like a tiny little like makeshift one almost. And as you guys pass down this path, then the one that is on watch, he sort of like he basically like ignores you guys until you get close, passing by, and he still doesn't say anything, but he tries to lock eyes with Ulf in particular, and then if Ulf sees him, if they make eye contact, then he like nods and stuff, but he doesn't say anything. He doesn't address you guys.
All right.
Right.
Cool.
Right, yeah, and you guys make your way into the, over the next hill, no problem. All right, so the second half of the day pretty much passes without incident. You guys make it to the area where this mountain is. You enter like this one, it starts to get more mountainous and more mountainous as the day goes on, and you get further into the mountains here until you enter this valley, and you can see just from like the ridge line that is opposite from you guys when you enter this valley. This is the valley where there is at the end of this valley there's like the entrance to the mountain. You can't really see it here. This valley does have trees. It has a little like stream running through it, but it's somewhere in this valley, and that you should be able to find the entrance to the cave here. The sun is going down, and it's getting a little colder already, and that is where we're going to take a break for a second.
Okay.
So yeah, and we'll come back and see what awaits in the temple.
All right. Cool.
All right. Yeah.
Someone turned.
I'm gonna mute the stream and be right back.